Welcome back, noble heroes. Welcome to another session of Mythia. Last session was extremely crazy, and this one offers to be equally insane. But before we begin, let me go ahead and give you something I haven't done in a little bit here. Let me give you our pledge. We here at the Homebrew channel reserve the right to be horrible, crass, and crude when the story calls for it, but also to be delightful, sweet, and tug on your heartstrings. And remember, do try this at home, and please give us a like and subscribe. Comment below, tell us what you think about the episode, your theories, however crazy they may be. I would love to hear them. And I will hit you back up and start a conversation. And we begin with the characters having just had a very intense session where Pitt's plan was somewhat foiled, although he certainly caused a lot of misery. And we come back with a lot of questions. What has happened with Queen Estrid? Where is Shadow? What has happened to Zarakon in his battle against the strange Cthulian horror in the Shadow Realm? How is Potjack doing? And will Euphemia ever get her arm back? We don't know.
Don't bring it up.
Also, is Pitt already escaped with his wicked deeds? We don't know. But we begin with a viewpoint from an event that I'm sure you will all remember. Pitt stood, watching the tower fall upon Queen Estrid. It wasn't supposed to end like this. What surprised us the most was their camaraderie. Why were these people together? A pirate and her crew? A necromancer? Roland? Godmother, an angel and a meek. What strange fate had concocted to set these against our goals? It must be the breaking. They were here because of the breaking. We saw the tower's mass initially slam down onto the cobblestones, breaking it off into sections that struck like subsequent hammer falls, until the foundations of the street threatened to give way. When I had concocted the plan off the whispered utterings across the city, I had been startled when I had received a signal back from a ship at sea. I had been even more surprised when, upon listening to that signal, I found the very people called to defeat me. And I heard them whisper as well. I had made some use of the sullied shell fight to convince the remaining pirates to attack the Outrunner. Once I knew of its location, the vengeful crew of Marjorie Brimson were only too willing to do what they may with the ship, and I had concocted a different, additional offer for them now. I had carefully worked out the deception, crafting a convincing narrative to lead them astray. In my wildest imaginings, though, I could have never predicted the halflings' brash leap into battle against an entire pirate crew, or their headlong plunge towards danger when I set off the explosives. The Godmother and the Angel, too, had proved even more resourceful than the rest of their kind. The other Godmothers had hidden away for days now, looking for me in all the wrong places. They just couldn't imagine my talents. But this one, this Juniper, she was like me. She bent reality to her will. Piercy watched with wide eyes as a man with a metal arm shoved the tiefling out of the way. He watched with horror as the guards were unable to escape. He watched Roland cover the halfling girl. He asked pathetically for my help. I agreed. Our hands moved quickly, as few deaths as possible. Rifts split open below them, dropping them into the darkness. Zarakon was still occupied with the Angel, as Zarathen flew to escape. To a backdrop of light and darkness, we worked swiftly. All the guards fell to us, and also the man with the metal arm. They floated before us in the shadows. With a simple wave of our hand, we cast the guards elsewhere in the city, sending them on tides of darkness back to the light. The man who had thought to sacrifice himself, though, he was curious. Pitt brought him close and examined him. He seemed unique, ugly and poor-born. Then, Roland's dragon descended, attacking us and scooping up the ugly human into our back. With a clean whistle, we called Royal to the fight, and the nightmare's hooves defended us. The two thrashed about the shadows as we left the area. We wanted to find Roland and the halfling. What had become of them? I searched the ruins and poked my head above the sea of shadows into the light, closely examining several bodies. I had missed Estrid somehow. Fate raged inside me. The crown remained unbroken. I had no choice save to trigger my trump card now and hope she died in the aftermath. A great scream drew my attention over towards Zarakon as he failed to capture the angel who escaped into the sunlight. I spotted Roland then. In a literal miracle, his armor had held against a landslide, and he lived. He would be saved eventually, unless we finished the paladin now. But then, Piercy heard him talk. His heart lurched. They spoke like great friends. He reassured her over and over again that things would be all right. He lied. We wished we could do that. The foolish child stayed my hand, asked pathetically for my help. I agreed. Roland was no king, and his presence represented a unique challenge that I admired, admitted to enjoying, like a complex puzzle to be solved. Thankfully, I had been sated earlier in the day, killing the barbarian queen of pirates. My hunger could wait. They live.
So we don't know yet if Pitt's really out of the city and gone or not.
Nope.
That's true.
Some more works could be in motion.
Dun,
Correct.
Dun, dun.
And who is she?
What?
His he was talking about his other weapon, and he said she. He has to trigger. Never mind.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Wait.
He's mentioned that he was talking about he may have to.
Yes, he missed her, and he's going to trigger a different. He had another thing going, and I hoped
missed
that would
Estrid.
work.
Okay, got it.
He missed her.
I'm not sure how exactly you missed somebody with an entire fucking building.
She rolled a really good deck save.
She was the one who went through the window.
That's right.
I mean, there would be a window on the tower. It's possible.
Yes, she's the one person who went through the window.
Mr. Magooed that shit.
Shit. That's a verb now. All right. We begin back. One final thing while we're in this. Roland, gain a hero point.
Oh, sick.
You can have up to 3 hero points at once, but can only use 1 per long rest.
You totally deserve it.
I've got 2 now.
Yay!
I might just use one.
Do it!
Very powerful.
Roland and Yuffie, you all just experienced the terrifying fear of being paralyzed in the Shadow Realm. Isaac, you just had a triumphant moment in which you found a unique way to abuse your specific set of talents, your connection to the angelic heavenly lights, and your rather more hidden connections to the darkness of the Shadow Realm that you use to create your necromancy. And Juniper, you are still feeling the flagging exhaustion of your spell as you exit forth from the flames, a glistening shield of magic around you.
She's not feeling shit right now. She's running on pure adrenaline.
As you all exit, who is the first to either acknowledge the others or act?
I think Yuffie's buried under you.
I was gonna say,
I
I'm
don't think she
just
can do
holding
anything.
you.
So I have exited.
You see the scene before you, Isaac standing over Potjack, and the giant ogre mercenary seems laid flat, unconscious on the ground with his arms spanning upwards. And Yuffie and Roland, Yuffie has kind of fallen haphazardly on top of Roland's chest plate, and Roland is laid out on his back.
June's eyes are going to be very, very wide as she frantically starts looking around.
Additionally, you see the huge gash in the street from the tower as it split the stone that made up the area and collapsed it into the sewers below. And there is a slight smell escaping from the sewer. It's not too bad. Additionally, as you look around, roll a perception check.
June is very specifically looking for shadow.
You do not find shadow.
Yes, well, that's what she's looking for. 15.
You are going to see... I'll tell you in 1 second. First, I'd like reactions from the rest of you. Let's start with Isaac. Isaac, reaction to seeing June come out of the building and Yuffie and Roland alive, cast out of the Shadow Realm, it appears.
Isaac, his face still reads very much as if he's under the impression that everyone is still in danger of combat. He's breathing heavily and his hands are up in front of him, kind of maintaining that shield he put up. He's going to spin around and look at Prongor and kind of do a double take to make sure that he is in fact alive and okay. And then you're going to see him drop the shield and then run over to Roland and Yuffie to start checking them out and making sure that they don't need stabilization or healing.
You have to step up and out of the hole that Potjack caused when he struck your shield. So you basically like bend your knee upwards and lift yourself out of the stone, fairly circular hole that you found yourself in. As you cast away the shield, there is a small sigh of energy, and you separate what Potjack could not with but one of your nails. And look down at his peaceful brow. He looks almost calm, almost serene, and then you hear a... you clop your hooves up, and Prongor is going to stand. He seems completely unharmed, and he's going to rush up towards you as you rush up towards Roland and Euphemia. Prongor is going to move up towards Isaac, and he sort of presses his hands up against you, causing your robe to sort of move inwards, and until he actually touches your side. And he's going to say, "Master, something happened." And then he sees Roland and Euphemia as you're walking quickly towards them, and he stops talking, and he sort of nods to you with a suggestion that maybe he'll tell you later.
As he approaches, Yuffie's gonna sit up and say, "Is he still here?"
You're going to see that Euphemia has only one arm, and the other one is severed at the elbow.
Are you bleeding out?
No.
Okay.
Roland, yeah.
Oh, yeah, you did that.
But she looks very, very bad.
Okay. I was
Pale,
just vaguely concerned for a
sweaty,
moment.
shaken.
Mm-hmm.
When you lose a limb.
If you're fresh as a daisy right now, I'd be shocked.
Yeah.
So, you asked, is he still here?
Is he still here? Implying, is Pitt still here?
Yeah. Isaac kneels down next to you guys, and his face looks very stern, and he says, "I don't sense anyone around anymore. Quick, hold up your arm." And he's going to pull out first aid supplies and start working on you.
She can't do much with a stump. She'll let you work on her and just stay very still.
Juniper, where do you... so you said you were heading out of the building, and you're looking around as you're approaching what?
Well, first she started looking specifically for Shadow or if Zarakon was there, but she's going to spot you two on the ground and she'll head to you guys as well.
And you said your perception check was a 15? as you walk quickly towards the
Stumble.
four of them, you are going to suddenly see that you are surrounded by guards. Queen guards, in fact, seem to be coming out from the streets surrounding the location you're in, and you're going to see Queen Estrid being escorted by 2 guards with tower shields blocking most of the sight towards her. And they are approaching cautiously towards all of you as though any of you could be a threat.
June will widen her eyes slightly in surprise at seeing Estrid alive and then sigh in relief, because she was thinking about that as well.
You will see, as Estrid has sort of come up with her 2 guards, a huge green drake head is going to also rise up from the sloped street that she is coming up. And you recognize her own personal drake. What is almost a mascot of the city at this point, like Shadow to Garen. The drake is probably twice the size of Shadow, though. It has a green reptilian look to it. And as it's going to make a noise that calls all your attention, a sort of almost ape-like howl, as it places its lips together. As your attentions are called over, you are going to suddenly realize that you all are surrounded. And you see a captain, by his insignias, with some impressive plate mail on. And he has a small squad of 5. But otherwise, Roland, you would recognize that they are approaching with military caution towards the group of you. And you also will see on all of their belts, first off, almost all of the guards survive the tower fall, which is like crazy.
Magic!
Second off, you will see a famous weapon on the belts of these guards. Special bolas called bridge locks. They are some of the strongest restraining cables in Mythia, and are famous for bringing down powerful Ascended that attack Bridgewalk. They've not drawn them. They have their normal weapons and shields up. But you do see that the guard captain sort of has his hand on that weapon, ready to give a call at any moment to restrain any one of you.
Was the guy he punched still up and about?
Yeah, Roland actually kicked that dude so hard, he didn't have to move at all to get out of the way.
Just curious. What's his expression like?
As you look over and see that particular guard, he looks a little more cautious than the other ones.
Dude, that guy is going to be telling stories. Roland personally kicked me in the face this once.
I kicked him in the back.
Whatever.
I kicked him in the back.
Oh, he's gonna
exaggerating.
exaggerate, and this tale is gonna be like known throughout Bridgewalk.
He'll be
still got
telling
the
it when he's
footprint.
still old.
Uh-huh.
His great-grandkids are going to hear this story.
Mm-hmm. He kicked me so hard that my kid has the same boot print.
Estrid is going to gesture in a meaningful way to her guard captain across the way. So they're on the opposite sides of the street, coming towards you in the center. And the guard captain is going to sort of gesture in a very militarized hand signal way towards his guard, who is going to he's got like a bundle, sack, and he's going to start like pulling out helmets out of it. And he sort of like rolls them on the ground towards you all. Put those on. They may protect you from Pitt's mind control, Estrid says.
May?
She says, it's hard to develop new magical technology in under a week.
Yeah, June will pick it up, delicate with her finger, and look at it.
The one that is clearly for Isaac is sort of cast, but it sort of rolls backwards in the worst roll that ever could be. It's like 15 feet away from him at this point. Prongor is going to say, "I've got it, master." And then as he heads towards, you're going to see kind of the guards back up a little bit from Prongor. And Isaac, you are going to see as Prongor sort of turns and he has this like delighted smile that the guards are afraid of him. And he sort of gives you like a secret wink.
Of course.
So the helmets are certainly not perfect fits, but they seem to have varied helmets for many races. Yours is clearly an elven helmet.
I wouldn't need one of that.
You're correct. You don't. I lied.
Yeah, the one person who doesn't need it.
Hey, what's up? No helmet hair for me.
Can I magically check it out?
You probably need at least 5 minutes to give it a look over.
Can I do it while I'm wearing it?
No. But you could do it to other people's while they wear them.
Well, she's vaguely concerned that this will screw with her own power or herself.
Initially, what you may be more concerned about is that your hair has to come down in order to put this on.
Actually, she currently Shoot! No, I ditched my disguise. So no, I do look like myself. Okay. Yeah, she quickly feels her head, realizing this is not going to work, and then she sighs, snaps her fingers, and all of her hairpins just disappear, and her extremely curly, very long blonde hair falls down to her mid-back. She shakes it out, and she'll put the helmet on.
All right. You're going to see men and women of about 7 different races make up the guard corps of Bridgewalk, at least this particular group of Queen's Guards. And Estrid herself has on a helmet that has suggestions of a little bit greater decor than the remainder of the helmets do. And she says, "Roland, can you feel him with your paladin abilities?"
I can
You
almost...
think she's asking you to use divine sense.
I'm gonna say, I mean, I've never felt him before. I guess I could do that. Okay, it's only within 60 feet of me, but I guess I will do that.
All right. And it senses like otherworldly creatures, right? It's
Yes.
Reverence,
Celestial, fiend, or undead.
Do you have to pick one? Or can you do all of them?
Open your awareness to detect. It doesn't say pick one, I guess.
Yeah, it's all of them.
Oh, good. In that case, June will look at you and go, "Do you sense Zarakon?"
Do I?
Isaac, what color are your eyes, please?
I would say that they were red, and then with the arrival of all the soldiers, they turned white.
Okay, none of those are in radius.
I don't feel anything.
Does it have dragon on there? It doesn't, right?
No. Celestial, fiend, or undead.
Got it. All right. As soon as you begin to shake your head, you're going to see a warp of shadow appear next to you. And shadow is going to sort of burst out of it. She scrapes on the ground with her claws, and you're going to see a little bit of necrotic steam rise off her back for a moment, which is not entirely usual for an exit from her, but you feel that sort of blasting cold on your back as she does, and you will see that she has been injured.
He's going to turn to her and grab her and...
She has what appears to be a black eye, and her eye seems a little bit swollen, and she's shut it. Additionally, she has what appears to be an acid scar across her flank. It looks like maybe she was tangled with that tentacled creature.
Does she look like she has any radiant damage on her? Or like...
Radiant damage mostly looks like fire damage.
Does she look like she has any burns?
No.
Okay.
Hang on. I lied. Yes.
So it looks like she might have gotten in range or something?
It's possible. But you can't tell just from a burn wound where it came from.
June's decorum will break for a very split second as it looks like she really wants to do something, and then she quickly holds herself back, clenching her
As
fists.
you near very closely, you're going to see that the scales have shattered in a circular shape on her eye.
Are you okay? What happened?
She's breathing heavily throughout her flank. And you can hear the breath like a dinosaur. And she's going to sort of turn her head to you, and you see this sort of intense fear in her eyes. And she's just going to kind of make a whimpering.
He's gonna like kind of hug her.
She's going to wince her face away from you.
He's gonna like grab her like up under her and like look at her eye. Oh my God, your eye!
She
What
goes.
happened? He's gonna like kind of like stroke the opposite side of her face. I'm so sorry I wasn't there.
She nods. And then she's going to like nudge you with one of her horns in a calming way. Almost like she's trying to calm you down.
No,
Um,
just stay close.
she turns and is going to like nod towards you. And then she like flaps her wings out, and then she points off towards the Grand Dock.
Yes, she is looking that direction, and she looks like she wants to take off that direction, but we are currently still surrounded by the Queen's Guards and Estrid and a wounded Yuffie and a wounded Shadow.
Roll a perception check.
Not that great. 9.
9? Okay. As you lock off in that direction, you can see that the guards are sort of coming closer. Estrid's going to say, "Did you feel anything?"
No, but he could be further away.
"It's the best we can do for now, then," she says.
She's gonna pull out her mirror, flick it. She looks at Estrid for a moment, thinks about it, and then does it anyway. Are you there?
You're calling Annalise? Zarakon. As you say that, you're going to hear, "Oh!" And you will see Potjack sort of begin to like open his eyes and look around. As he does so, he is fairly close to Shadow and you. And a little bit farther away from Yuffie, Isaac, and Prongor. As he gets up, you are going to see the guards around you are going to kind of like step back. "Hold!" You hear the captain of the guard say. Potjack is going to look up towards the guards, and you see him sort of swing his head around wildly to see himself surrounded.
Confused as hell.
Yep.
Does anyone do anything?
Oh, I'm walking towards him.
Yuffie's gonna turn to Isaac, "Give me a hand," and to ask him to
Literally.
yeah, to not literally to help her up since she's basically still sitting on the
Isaac.
ground.
Isaac pulls you up and walks with you.
Roland, make a dexterity saving throw. DC 13.
Oh, damn, dexterity? I thought I had dex.
No, paladins
don't?
don't have dex.
They don't.
Well, I did not make it.
All right. All of you will... Your attention is drawn towards the sudden, frantic movements of the ogre mercenary as he turns wildly. He is what might appear intentional, but you may believe it accidental. He slaps Roland across the face, doing basically like, it looks really savage. He's like, and he kind of goes like that and just gonna backhand you, and your head just goes into the ground. As he does that, you will see the captain of the guard, who was already a little nervous about Potjack, say, "Bridge locks!" And they're going to whip out their bolas and sling them around, and all of them are going to cast the bolas towards Potjack.
Yeah, I was very close to banishing him. If it doesn't work, I'm going to.
You take 24 points of bludgeon from Potjack's
God
hand.
damn.
How are you doing?
Bad. Don't worry about me, though.
I have 4.
You actually have 39.
When did I get 39?
I'll lay them
He lays on hands.
Last session, near the end of the session, Roland laid on hands for 35 points. And I had thought he didn't do that, but he did.
Oh, yeah, I did.
God.
So what are you at now?
9.
Are you conscious? Just curious, or are you just dazed?
I'm probably still. Well, no, I think I've at this point,
You feel
I'm
a lot of
on
trauma.
the come down.
Yeah.
So I probably stay down.
Well, it is one-on-one, technically.
You will hear.
Oh,
You will hear something like a cry from Shadow, something like a gasp, as Roland almost flips over himself, and his head, in mid horizontal turn, is going to just slam onto the ground. Your neck sort of bends in this awkward way,
Oh.
and you will collapse like a wet sack.
yeah, I'm just
onto
gonna
the
stay
floor.
down.
And you're going to see the guards pull out their bolas. They're going to say a command word, each of them a unique command word. And as they do, the bolas have these 3 stones, and then they are connected by bridge cables down to a 3rd or a 4th final stone on the bottom. And as they say the command word, you're going to see the runes sort of flare into life with a teal energy. And they are going to cast them with accuracy towards Potjack. And all of them in midair, sort of the orbs, are going to become this crescent. And when they hit Potjack, you're going to see them like whirl and lock. Juniper, you know that bridge cables are some of the strongest material on Mythia. And as they wrap around Potjack, they almost seem to grow in size to wrap wholly around his midsection. Do any of you do anything at this point?
Isaac will say something.
Yes.
As him and Yuffie are kind of like walking over there together, Isaac's going to shout out, "Potjack, stay calm. Pit was controlling you, and I saved you. Don't do anything rash."
Isaac.
I'm going to him.
I'm staying down.
Make a DC 23 persuasion check.
We believe in you. You got this.
Ugh, only an 18.
Did you guidance yourself?
I did not, but that would not be enough to save me anyways.
That's
so.
fair.
All right. And Yuffie, did you do anything?
Yuffie would have actually followed up his shout with her own shout.
What would you say?
Looks like you've joined the club with Roland and I, asshole. Stay down.
All right.
Does Yuffie want to assist me?
That is not an assistance.
No, that's not.
In fact,
that's
I
not a
should give you
persuasion.
disadvantage. Okay. Your words are not enough to calm him down, and as he is entangled in the bridge wire, you're going to see the glowing orbs of stone burning with this magical energy, and there's almost a smoke roiling out of them. And he is probably hit by 8 or 9 of them at once, and you see a couple have their bolas remaining, waiting, sort of whirling them in the air. Juniper, you move up quickly towards Roland, but you see Potjack. You witness his face, even with Isaac's attempt to calm him. The moment he is enwrapped in the bolas, you're going to see this sort of frantic, feral nature grab him. And you are going to hear him whisper. It might not be audible to everybody, but to you it is. He's going to say, "No, Mama, I didn't do it."
Can I banish him? Does he look
Roll
like
an
he's going to
initiative check
attack?
versus Potjack.
Does he look like he's going to attack? Because I'm pretty sure he's getting ready to, right?
That seems a reasonable guess.
He's about to attack everybody.
And he's totally unstoppable. So.
Wow, this is like the first time I've ever rolled a good initiative check. It's probably going to trounce me, though, isn't he? I got a 19.
You succeed. Go ahead, and it's a
Never happened.
charisma save
Yes.
for banish.
Which should be good against Podjack. Not that he's not charismatic.
Potjack is going to disappear. And the bolas all sort of clatter as one
Why
big
couldn't they stay on him?
mass. I guess they could. Okay.
I didn't intentionally make him fall off. She's like, that will only last for a minute, but at least we can get preparations in order. And she says, help me move Roland. She's going to reach down and heal you.
He looks up at you and says, remember the time I vouched for that asshole?
He's not in his right mind.
He's just rubbing my head just over and over again. It hurts so bad.
Let me see how much I heal you for. Sorry.
Yuffie, you're going to hear a noise that draws your attention skyward, and you see Zarakon coming down towards the crowd. He
little more backup.
seems... He actually appears to be losing feathers from his wings.
She's going to say to Isaac, I don't think losing feathers is normal for an angel, is it?
At that point, June's head will jerk up.
Don't worry about healing me. It's fine.
Oh, she already did. So you get not much, but you know what? It's enough to like kind of get your head back in the game. Let's see. So 7.
Yeah, I need to sleep.
I think we all need a big nap.
Yeah, you will hear a very shaky gasp the moment that it's quiet, but you are right next to her face right now. But the moment her head jerks up when she says that.
I need to know if banishment specifies that the target is like paralyzed or something on the other side.
Doesn't specify.
And they only make the save one time, right? They don't make it every round?
No, it's just the one saving throw.
I thought so.
Just the one save.
For a minute.
Okay. And it's 1 minute, right?
Yes.
All right. It has been like 12 seconds.
Mm-hmm. Are they helping me move him?
The guards, as soon as the banishment comes up, are going to rush in and sort of medic drag you back away.
If I'm getting like straight up medic dragged, he's gonna swat somebody and say, I can walk. And then get up and stumble a few times and then start walking.
All right.
Yeah. You will feel a very strong grip for a very brief moment, and she will let go.
Yeah, no, I'm fine. Go.
No, that wasn't what she was.
Yeah, I know, but like you're... Yeah.
All right. Zarakon is going to come down, and you will see him land fairly heavily on the ground. and then he's going to, waft his wings. You sort of see this odd look from some of the guards, and then his wings are sort of going to fold into his back and disappear. And you'll see a couple, 3 feathers sort of... do we know where he is? He says.
Not yet.
I've escaped the creature. It stopped somewhere near Grand Dock, he says. I have some information about that, he says. Queen Astrid is going to move forward. How much longer on Hotjack?
She goes, she'll give the exact amount of seconds. I'm assuming it's 30 at this point.
I would suggest that we all leave this area so he feels safer when he comes out.
Agreed.
You'll see Yuffie say, Hotjack, under her breath.
However, a very important thing needs to be discussed immediately, as soon as we get out of the vicinity.
She turns and nods. She says, my suggestion is we head as quickly as possible back towards the Adamantine Fortress.
Start moving.
Yuffie's gonna try to grab your arm. Wait. Pit knows where the Outrunner is. If Hotjack was controlled.
Grand Docks? Oh, wait,
The Outrunner was kept in trade dock.
Yes. I just remembered that. Okay.
She is going to gesture you all back towards the street that she came up from, and you're going to see guards sort of form up military style around her, and she is swept off in that direction.
If we go to the edge, can we see the Outrunner's location from here?
It is probably 10 minutes to the edge of the cliff from here.
Oh.
Is it in the right direction?
No, it's in the opposite direction, in fact.
Queen Astrid, is it possible for you to send a guard to her ship?
She turns, states a guard's name clearly, and is going to... she points towards where you see sort of the Drake sort of milling about on a side street, and he's going to head over with, obviously, the intent to, take one up.
Yuffie will state the location at the trade dock.
As you all begin to travel away from the area where Potjack is, Zarakon is going to interject into the conversation. First off, he is going to look towards Euphemia. You see, this huge pang of sorrow as he looks down at your arm. Let's take care of that, he says.
Can you?
Yes. June, you're going to know that Zarakon angels, when they come down from heaven, have a certain amount of light of heaven that they draw from the light of heaven in heaven.
June is going to grab her necklace that she's got on her neck, yank it off, and hand it to him.
I have plenty, he says.
Plenty?
I have plenty. He's going to turn towards you. He is going to put up his 2 fingers, and you'll see a little sphere of light appear at the tip of them. And then he is going to reach down and carefully, swiftly, and with confidence, place his fingers on the very edge of your nub and draw in the light a copy of your hand all the way down. And then as soon as he's done that, he's going to place his fingers on the end of your arm. You may want to look away, he says. Regrowing flesh is not pleasant.
She'll look at him. I'm not afraid of pain. And she won't turn her eyes.
It's not pain. Just gross, he says. In the background of this group, Isaac, have you chosen to follow these guards over the horizon away from Potjack?
Yeah, he does.
Prongor is going to turn to you, and he says, Master, when the tower fell on me, I fell into the shadows. The shadow realm you spoke of so often when you were training in Delaire, he says. It was Pitt, Master. I think he was the one who saved me.
What would lead you to believe that?
He drew me down in front of him with several other guards. He cast all them away. I thought perhaps he was keeping me as well, or keeping me so that he could do something terrible to me in order to get at your heart, he says. But then Shadow attacked. He looked at me with... I would say it was confusion, Master. Confusion is a good word, or perhaps a little bit of pity. But it was not Shadow, Master. Shadow did not come until afterwards. I believe it was the Necromancer.
You think that maybe he was trying to grab someone else, and he got you instead?
No, Master, he says. I saw him work like a maestro, conducting an orchestra. He cast his hands left and right, and in the sky that was the ground, men fell through. I believe he saved them, Master. Saved many of them. Perhaps he did not wish to kill the guards.
We're not in earshot of this conversation, right?
Correct.
Just double checking.
Perhaps many of them were his pawns under his control, and he doesn't want to lose them.
Well, Master, if they were his pawns under his control, then why did he need Euphemia?
That is a good question.
It is something to consider, Master. Perhaps another piece of his deadly plan.
No doubt. I will have to think on this.
I knew that your brain would suss out his intentions.
Prongor, I must say I am glad that you're alive. Please, do try to be more careful.
Master, I was thinking. What would you say if we created a contraption hidden in my arm to make a giant, impressive shield?
Did he say shield?
He did.
I'd say that if you think you could design it in such a way that it's not too heavy for you, that's a brilliant idea.
We would need more supports on my shoulder, Master.
We would. And I think we'd have to make it, I don't know, out of timber? Stone would be too heavy.
As this conversation continues in the quiet corners of the back of the group.
Our question.
Yes.
The feathers that fell from Zarafon's wings, I would collect those before we left.
They actually they sort of burn away.
Okay,
in dust.
just making sure, because I didn't want anything that could be used.
At the front of the crowd, where all of you are in earshot, save for Isaac, Zarafon is going to say, "The creature. It tried to touch my mind," he says. "It looked at me with its many eyes, and they rolled inside of the pupil." He seems to be caught up in the image in his brain for a moment, and then says, "I believe that the creature is somehow connected to Pit. Like a warlock to its patron," he says. "I believe that the creature is what is controlling the minds, not Pit. When it entered my head, we fought. I won. Its name is Zarakon. It is a creature of elder darkness." Queen Estrid her head sort of lifts as though the realization of it has struck her. She seems to know what he's talking about. All of you may roll a religion check.
Do I need to roll one?
No.
Okay. I was
Holy
like,
shit.
What?
wow, good job.
21?
What'd you say, religion?
Religion. Isaac, you are not in the conversation, unfortunately.
Got it.
9. At least it wasn't a 4.
What was yours?
21.
Okay, that's enough, just barely.
It's just a random thing I guess I know.
You are a
I'm
paladin.
dumb as shit, though.
Just...
A creature of elder darkness. They are darkness creatures are mostly a hive mind, and the queen, quote unquote, of darkness are called elders. Elder darkness. Not to be excused with a race called the elders. They are this world's version of the Illithid.
Okay.
And they're basically darkness that gains sentience. And they also have a hive mind, but they're very different than just like Darklings and Faceless Men.
So, God, just so I can understand what the hell's going on. Rarely do I need to know what's going on. You guys just kind of tell me what's going on, and then
She does. Are you kidding?
So,
Yuffie sometimes gets it.
So this is what I'm gathering from this: is that it's a creature of elder darkness or whatever.
Yes.
And it is the weapon that Pitt is using to mind control people.
Correct.
It's not exactly. So essentially, a creature of darkness is reaching into our world and playing puppeteer.
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
That's scary.
Yeah.
I believe it is Zarakon's fate to do this, he says. Either way, the creature does not seem to possess the intellect of its kin. It does not have any children. It is a lone wolf, to speak.
That is a very big anomaly.
He nods. I don't know how Pitt found it, but its coloration, it is the same as his own. I believe it perhaps is bonded to him in some way. The two of them work in sync. I saw him move with ease through the shadows, with no aid. Perhaps it is this creature that moves him, or they have some symbiotic relationship. Not unlike... He's going to sort of nod, suggesting you in shadow. Of a much different kin.
She kind of lifts an eyebrow. She's like, I'm a little different.
He says, either way, when I escaped, the creature seems turned away by radiant energies. Healing, specifically. It did not seem to wish to attack me when I healed. A burst of radiant energy from myself kept it at bay for long enough for me to escape. But when I left the plane of shadows, I left into an alleyway. I didn't actually know where I was coming out. The creature was able to extend its tentacles into this world so long as they remained in the shade. The moment it touched sunlight, it seemed to burn.
What?
That suggests that when night falls, it will have free reign of the city.
Yeah, she looks horrified. Have we seen many Elder Darknesses come out in
Yes, you have seen...
recent years?
No.
Okay. It's been a while, right?
Correct.
Yeah. She goes, an Elder Darkness coming out? It's been a very long time.
I didn't gain much from the mind's touching, and I don't think it gained much from me, he says. I saw that it wished to dominate me.
Did you injure it at all?
Not really, he says. It was too large. Also, it was quite quick. I was mostly occupied with merely escaping his tentacles' grasps. That is why I couldn't return to you, he says.
Are you all right?
I'm fine.
She is going to turn to the queen at this point. She goes, we have a bigger problem at the moment. Pitt has planted a plague in your city.
So, it has been more than enough time. Let me see what's going on with Potjack and if you hear anything. So this is quite an important roll. I'll roll in front of you all. On a 7 or below, Potjack's going to wake up still freaked out. On anything above a 7, so 8 or above, your lack of presence, the lack of threat, will calm him down.
No!
King of Chaos.
Oh god, Patek's on a rampage.
Can we hear it?
I'm sure we will see.
You are going to suddenly, as the spell ends, hear a furious, terrified roar back in the direction you just left. And then you will hear something. It sounds like a snapping of a very tight cable. And then you're going to see Potjack sort of leap above you and away from the city.
I'm okay with this.
Okay. As long as he's not destroying a lower income neighborhood, this is fine.
Is he out of the city?
With perhaps 6 or 7 leaps of his highest arc, he will exit Bridgewalk. He heads north. Estrid is going to sort of turn towards you, interested in what you're saying. And you all are now headed up towards this like pack of drakes that are waiting on you down at the bottom of the hill. And she is going to sort of gesture towards them meaningfully and say, "Farther plans, I believe, should take place out of earshot, both common people and any additional hidden enemies. Perhaps you would fly with me back to the fortress." She turns towards the rest of you, looking for an affirmation.
Yuffie nods hesitantly.
Your arm is beginning to sort of sickeningly reconstruct itself. It is not a pleasant experience.
You'll see her grimace every probably
So,
dozen seconds.
just to give you an example, so in order to reconstruct, basically the top muscles of your arm have to come out from your skin and form the bones and muscle structures of your arm in a visceral, rather sickening manner.
How much longer is it till we were supposed to have met?
Like an hour, roughly.
Okay.
It is. I believe it is 4:31.
I thought we were supposed to meet at nightfall.
No.
Oh.
No, it was just set at a few, like, it's probably like 5 o'clock or something.
It is 4:31
Okay.
p.m.
Okay. That's oddly specific, but okay.
It won't at all be relevant.
Oh dear.
Mm.
June, could I use a wish point to send... Hang on. Okay. Does she have any mages with her?
Not obvious mages.
Do you have anyone who can cast sending?
She nods.
We need to send to another part of our party. He needs to be there.
She... Who?
Hero. Might be a hero. He's a meek. He's in your city somewhere.
She's going to turn, and a scroll is placed in her hands. You know him best.
Thank you.
As you unroll the scroll, Estrid is going to head over, and Yuffie, how are you situated right now?
I assume she'd still be standing, just having her arms kind of twitch periodically as it's regrowing.
Roland, do you use your potion?
The wait on myself?
You could.
Was that what you were hinting for me to do?
That's what I'm wondering if you are doing.
No.
Okay.
He thinks he
Estrid.
can ride out this headache.
Estrid is going to walk up towards you. And she sort of... Are you alright?
A building fell on me. Other than that, I guess I'm okay.
Give me a bump on the head, huh?
Yeah, I did get smacked in the face by my strongest person I know, I guess.
Thank you for coming to our aid.
I'm glad you're okay. I'm sorry I couldn't do more.
She's going to smile slightly. You sound like Harper. She looks over and heads towards Euphemia.
Yuffie will get, as she approaches, a more steely look on her face, like she is anticipating being reprimanded and needing to apologize, even though she hates doing it.
I don't believe our initial meeting was appropriate, she says.
She looks at her arm. I'm sorry.
My name is Estrid. She extends her hand towards you.
She, initially tries to reach with her right hand that's still regrowing, and then she's, awkwardly puts her left hand out instead.
Don't blame her for not wanting to shake your hand. Just saying.
Your name?
Euphemia Carr.
I have a question for you,
Is it about your arm?
It is not. You and Potjack, you were both dominated by Pit.
Yes.
At the bar, a solid shell.
What?
Were you both under his control?
How would you even know about that?
I would not be a very good queen if I did not.
No, she says. Only Potjack was. Why?
Which one of you? You killed her.
You'll have to define her. We did a lot of damage to a lot of people there.
My last name is Estrid Brimson.
Yuffie steps back immediately. You're the Decapitator's sister?
We have not spoken in a very long time.
But I imagine you knew the monster that she was.
Yes.
She waits a beat.
I wish that needed hurt less. Do you have a sister, Euphemia? If she were to die.
Yuffie's face is very blank.
You can understand.
I can understand what it is to have any family die. Although it was Potjack who technically did the deed. It was my doing.
She stands. Thank you for being truthful.
I owe you that much.
You don't know me a thing. She turns around. She heads over towards the drakes.
Yuffie looks just kind of shell-shocked standing behind her.
Do I get a hold of Hero?
As you unroll the scroll and begin to read the Arcantic upon it, you are going to be interrupted by a guard adjacent to you, sort of clutching at his armor and then falling over. Followed by what appears to be a rather sweaty guard captain. He's sort of patting his head with a rag. And he's sort of gonna... And he sort of clutches at his chest and also collapses.
The plague.
You're also going to see like a few nearby shopkeeps as well, keel over.
What about our group?
Yuffie. You are, as
Can't
you
catch a
stand
break.
there, sort of contemplating your emotional state,
And how much
being
effort
shell-shocked.
screws up.
you are suddenly going to feel like all of a sudden, like a switch got turned on inside you. And you are going to feel your heart irregularly beat. And you feel great pain,
She'll clutch immediately at her chest.
and you fall over.
Am I relatively close to that one?
Yes.
June is actually going to reach down, grab you, and immediately cast Lesser Restoration to heal the disease.
As you do so, the moment that Euphemia, Juniper lays her hand on Euphemia, you are going to feel all of the sudden ill effects vanish from you. In fact,
What about those two?
no. In fact, what are your all's reactions to all of the other people, save Estrid, around you, falling over? Let's start with Tyler.
Roland will run to the closest person who fell to him and look to you to see what you're doing. Will I see you?
You see her immediately cast a spell you would recognize as Lesser Restoration.
Did that work?
Yes.
I've got that too, so I guess I'll start doing it on as many people as I can.
It's a level 2 spell, right?
Mm-hmm.
How many slots do you have?
I think 3.
Yuffie will shake herself. What was that?
3.
Estrid also is going to look around in startlement as all of her Queen's Guard begin to fall over. 3 people. Isaac, what is your reaction, please?
So we see this happening to basically everyone but me, Roland, June, and Queen Estrid, right?
Zarafan.
And Zarakon. Okay.
Good luck giving a disease to an angel.
You never know.
Don't
He
say
looks
things like
shocked
that.
seeing it happen to everyone surround him, but then he steps back and you see him sticking close to Euphemia, like making sure she herself doesn't fall over onto the ground, like he's getting ready to catch her.
Okay.
What about Prongor?
Prongor also falls over.
Oh, then he lets go of Euphemia and runs over.
She flops to the ground.
He's going to also cast Lesser Restoration.
All right, so make sure you take off your spell slots
After
that
he
you just
hears-
spent.
Already done.
What'd you say?
Okay. I was going to say after he hears June say that spell worked, he'll do the same thing.
All right, you cure just Prongor?
He'll do Prongor, and then he'll look to Queen Estrid to see if she starts giving any sort of direction to us, or if she's just shocked, I guess.
As you all turn and begin casting healing magics upon the Queen's Guard surrounding you, you will note that many citizens around you also fall. You see a woman sort of looking with she's just looking from an upper window down towards you from her apartment, and she is going to also sort of like put her hand up and faint. And it's not like all at once, but it's pretty close. It's within like 10 seconds of one another. As soon as you all have cast your magics, healing some of them, a voice, Pitt's voice, is going to ring loudly through the entirety of Bridgewalk. Queen Estrid, it is time that you perform your royal duty to your people. Prove that you are what your poor citizens have been taught to believe you are, and lay down your life for them. You have till midnight to leap from the highest cliff and bridge walk onto the rocks below and pass unto the other. If you do not, or think to cheat me through deception, your city will feel the response to your arrogance. The choice is yours. End your tyranny here and free your lands. Estrid's face is raised up, looking towards the gray cast sky. It looks like it's about to rain.
We should get to the fortress.
What about all these people who are sick?
We can't do anything from here. I have an idea.
I'm in agreement, she says. A moment. She looks up, and you realize that she wasn't looking towards the sky. She was looking towards the incoming Drake Guard. He's going to land, and he sort of... the Drake actually is going to be carrying an unconscious man. And is going to land near you all. I need him awake, she says.
Cast Restoration again.
As you go over and expend the spell to cast it, he is going to sort of rouse over a course of a couple seconds. Zarakon is going to look down and... So, how many spell slots did you spend?
Spent 3.
Isaac, how many cure diseases did you spend not on Prongor?
I can do it 2 more times.
Do you?
Yeah.
And June, how many did you do?
I did 2 at the moment.
So 1 on the guard that came back?
And 1 on her.
And 1. Okay,
She
so no guards.
is-
Okay, fine.
She is concerned about using her spells right now.
Yep.
Totally don't think like that.
Yeah.
Alright. Zarakon is going to expend some of his own power to heal 1 of them, in addition. But he looks at the other 2 and gets the guy who he woke up to sort of throw that one of the guys over his shoulder, and Zarakon picks up the other one. As the guard awakens, Estrid is going to rouse him. What did you find? She says. He is going to look up at the porcelain skin queen, covered in tribalistic tattoos, marked in a very fine gray paint on her face. Her lips are a sort of dusty pink rose, and you see her eyes are hard and serious, and there are some strong worry lines on her forehead. The guard is going to look up, and we are going to go ahead and take a pause there, noble heroes, before we get to anything too exciting. Please like and subscribe, and give us a comment down below. We really appreciate it. And do try this at home.